Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today. This is honestly a video on a rumor that is about a week old. I just honestly wanted to put this off for a little bit because of the fact that I really didn't know how they were going to pay this off, when it was going to pay dues. I didn't know if maybe he was going to rush back, but Daniel Bryan's contract with the WWE has expired. I think the wrestling's wet dream that is out there is that basically he takes his talents to AEW, maybe showing up at people thought he was going to be at Blood and Guts last week. There's a chance he might show up at Double or Nothing as Cody Rhodes' special announcement. There's feelers out there, and maybe they have. I know that the first All-In pay-per-view, when Daniel Bryan was trying to get out of WWE because they wouldn't let him wrestle, people thought that he was going to show up at All In. I can't remember if it was he was going to fight Samoa Joe at that time is what people thought, or maybe he was going to fight for the Ring of Honor championship, because that wasn't, I guess you can say, an ROH show at the time, sort of paying back to his roots. I'm all for Daniel Bryan wrestling again. I think Daniel Bryan is going to wrestle. He said this in all of his press interviews that you can see all over the internet, is that he wants to wrestle into his late early days. He wants to wrestle for as long as he possibly can. He wants to go after like a record of wrestling into his 70s. If people want to pay for it and he can still do it, I tip my hat to him and say, hey, go out there, be safe, get it done. I'm not sure what kind of independence he'll be wrestling it on, but as of right now, I think the best idea I've heard of is WWE sort of lets him become an independent wrestler within the company, where he doesn't really wrestle enough, but they let him show up on NXT UK, NXT. They sort of float through Raw and SmackDown as if he is a free agent, not really booked to one idea. I think that would be really cool. Chances of him going to AEW, I think if he's out there, you got to have a chance to sign him. But as of right now, AEW hasn't really signed a lot of free agents, even after WWE's releases last week. Though, of course, those people can't sign for, I believe, 2 months because of the way their contract is. But Daniel Bryan's contract actually ending, he could have showed up at Blood or Guts last week. And there's people who actually thought he was going to show up on SmackDown this week, because we've seen, the loser leaves town match that he had with Roman Reigns pay off so many ways. I mean, how many times has Ric Flair lost a retirement match or a loser leaves town match in WCW and just pops back up, when his vacation's done? We've seen this in wrestling. We don't really believe retirements are retirements, and they just come back. So definitely, I think him staying in WWE is the brightest option for me. Leaves the door open for a Bella's return. People think that that's in the cards. And to me, they're the biggest company that is out there. WWE or AEW, if they were to bring him in, maybe possibly as a tag team with Samoa Joe, to sort of give a life run of those guys, to keep them in there longer, not having to work as hard and as much. Possibly bringing them in to wrestle each other. I think that is huge. I think it would be cool. People think that he's actually going to go out there and sort of rekindle wrestling by going back and actually wrestling independence. Whether that's him being a Ring of Honor wrestler, or if him just actually independently wrestling across the country, doing shows like PWG and wrestling at your local high school gym, that he could, sort of bring a fandemonium to that. I think there is money in that, but it's also, there's kind of a fear of who he's going to be wrestling. Is there enough, sort of past WWE names that they could put him in the ring with that'll be safe? I don't think he wants to be wrestling just real independent, normal plumber Monday through Friday working an independent show, who go out there and could possibly, re-injure his neck or something like that. But Daniel Bryan, I think as of right now, taking a little bit of time off, but whenever he's going to get back in the ring, I'm all for it.